What's up, guys? It's Gray, aka the Hokage, and we're talking about something a little bit different. It's not directly anime, but I feel as though it's close enough. And the reason I'm talking on this channel is because I actually kind of wanted to, if anyone was just interested in anime, maybe kind of bring them over to watch the show because this show is awesome. Anyway, if you don't know what this is, I actually realized that I did not put the word Castlevania anywhere on the thumbnail. Oh well. Anyway, it's Castlevania. Season 3 specifically. I'm not going to talk about the other two seasons, mainly because those have been out for so long that, like, if you knew that those existed, you'd probably watch them already. But season 3. So this, real quick, this video is going to be split up into two separate parts, right? There's going to be the first part, which is the spoiler-free review, which is going to be pretty short, and there's a second part, which is just going to be me talking about my thoughts and everything. There will be spoilers in that part, so I'll give you a good warning before I start talking about that stuff. Anyway, season 3. So if you've seen the other two seasons, you've probably already seen season 3, but in case you haven't, it's awesome. I think it's the best season. It follows the same characters that you've seen already. None of them are together this time, except as opposed to season 2, where there was just basically two different sides and that was it. This time there's a bunch of separate storylines going on all at once with a lot of different characters, and the only characters that are together are Trevor and Cypher. Sypha, I don't know how you pronounce it. I'm just going to call her Cypher, but it's probably Sypha. I don't know. She has a weird accent. Anyway. Overall, I mean, there's really not much for me to say other than, like, watch the show, right? The show, it's so good, guys. It's on Netflix. Netflix. Please give it a watch. It's super worth it. This season, I think, almost it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit it takes a build up to the action. The first couple episodes are just kind of setting up where people are going to go, what their goals are, what they're dealing with, what the conflict is going to be. And then the last 4 to 3 episodes are just conflict resolution and climax. And it's awesome. The last episode 9 is insane. Like, that episode just never stops. So a lot goes on there. And as far as characters, this isn't really a spoiler, but Alucard's not in the season nearly as much as he was, obviously, as he was like a main character. So that was kind of a more for me as a huge Alucard fan, but like, Isaac is just the coolest dude on the planet. Isaac is so cool. His story is super awesome. Hector is definitely interesting. I enjoy Hector's story. I'm sure some people might not. We'll get to that in the spoiler part. Cypher and Trevor's, in my opinion, is probably this as far as like Alucard's, but like as far as otherwise, it's barring Alucard's because his story is definitely the least featured in the show. It's very like just to take you away and give you a little bit of a breather. I think Trevor and Cypher's story was actually the weakest for me personally, just because I didn't care about what they were doing. I like the characters plenty. As far as just what they were doing, I wasn't super invested in it because it was kind of just like it just wasn't like Dracula seated, right? It was just kind of like they're doing it because they want to be decent people, which is fine, but like, I don't know. Anyway, as far as that's it, just go watch it. It's awesome. It's so, so good. The animation is just gorgeous. 10 out of 10 stuff. But yeah, that really does it for the spoiler-free part. Go see it. Please do yourself a favor. It's easy to binge, especially since everyone's staying inside right now. Now's the perfect time. And if you haven't watched all of Castlevania, for some reason, if you've gotten this far, do yourself a favor and watch Castlevania. It is, this channel is kind of supposed to be for a little bit more all audiences. So it definitely is a show for adults. So if you're a little bit younger, I would not watch the show. Maybe hold off a couple years till you're like I mean, you're a teenager, you could watch the show fine. But, just be mindful that your parents might get mad if they catch you watching it. All I'm going to say. Anyway, go see it. That's that. Now, spoiler talk. I'm going to count down, right? 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're talking about spoilers now. So if you haven't left, I'm going to assume you don't care. Also, I'm recording this without a shirt on, which I never do. And it feels weird because the back of my chair is mesh, and I don't like mesh on my skin. Don't know why I said that. But But hey, if you're watching this, you can not have a shirt on. This is getting really weird. I'm going to keep talking about Castlevania. Spoilers. Okay, so I guess I don't even know how I'm going to structure this part because there's just so much I feel like I want to talk about, but really there isn't. Let's just say let's just do a quick cons real quick because the season in my opinion was super super strong. There was just a couple things that I didn't like about it. One, it was a slow start, right? And this isn't a huge con. This definitely isn't a big deal. None of the things I'm going to complain about are big deals. But it was just it did start off, I was very invested still, obviously. Very invested. I still cared. This wasn't, as I said, this was probably one of the lesser problems I had. This was more of just I'm acknowledging that it was slow compared to season 2, getting right off of season 2, which was it ended in whoa, crazy. But this season picks up maybe even harder than season 2 does. This episode 9 goes so hard with eyes. Oh, dude, I'm getting derailed. Anyway, slower start. Definitely not a huge deal at all. In fact, I thought it was almost necessary because of how crazy it got, and they needed to set up plot points, but it's slower. You're right. The judge, right? I'm sure he had a name, but the judge at the village with Trevor and Cypher that they were dealing with. I don't like that he turned out to be he killed children. That was really strange to me because I just don't know why it was necessary. I assume to show that no matter what, people can be bad. I don't really get it personally. It didn't make sense to me, and it just it was it wasn't I don't really hate that, but I just kind of was why, right? Because he died anyway. Was it just to make them sadder that no matter what? I don't know. It was just weird. It was very weird to me. That was a problem. And also, speaking of that storyline, Cypher is too overpowered. I don't mind that she can do all these crazy awesome spells and kill demons left and right because magic, right? Magic's broken, sure. But she shouldn't be able to be insanely durable at the same time. That's the only character that I had a problem with because even Trevor seemed like he was fair, right? He was the super cool guy designed to kill demons, and he looked physically told by a lot. Also, when he whipped out that second whip, oh my god, that looked insanely good. Oh, that was so cool. I got chills. But anyway, back to Cypher. She was getting knocked around a bunch of stones and she just get up like nothing happened. Didn't love that. That did take me. It's not that I care that much, but it did take me out of it because I was that doesn't make any. She's just a normal person, right? If Alucard got smacked around, I'd be sure. Oh, speaking of Alucard. Well, anyway, Cypher, other problem. Good? Oh man, good. Isaac? Oh god, Isaac's story's so awesome. I love Isaac. I love how every time he interacts with people, it's always different. Because, there was the shop owner that was a good interaction. He gave him the really dope mirror. But then, most other people were just trying to kill him because admittedly, he did have an army of demons following him. So, I would be on the edge too. Probably wouldn't openly say that I'm going to kill him. Probably would at least be we might as well see if he goes through in peace. But anyway, it definitely is interesting because during this time period that it's supposed to be replicating, humans aren't the best, right? The church isn't the best. So I do like that. There's a couple social undertones in there for sure. But Isaac learning that developing what his goals are, what he wants to do. The captain and him had such a great dynamic of Isaac having the power and the captain being hey man, maybe killing everyone isn't a good idea, right? Because some people are good. And Isaac was you know what? Maybe some people are good. Then Isaac meets the witch, and Isaac's conclusion, holy moly. When he had the big fight with the entire city possessed of people, and it's demons versus zombies essentially, and there's a huge ball of zombies that are hurling balls of corpses at him, and then he summons a Godzilla demon. Oh dude, it's so cool. Isaac is just the GOAT, man. I'm all aboard Team Isaac. However, I don't want him to kill Hector, which is what his goal is because he betrayed Dracula. Speaking of Hector, I enjoyed Hector's story a lot as far as just entertaining because it's so interesting, right? Because you don't know, right? You never, it's you know for a fact this vampire is playing him, and even I believe her name is Lenore, right? It even gets revealed. By the way, real quick, all the vampire generals, the females, super, super cool characters except for Cyril, or what? Oh God, what's her name? Oh, this is gonna bug me. Oh God. Man, I don't. Man. What is her name? Well, whatever. The one in this picture, right? That one. She's dumb. I don't like her. She's too much, man. She's too much. But anyway, Lenore. Because the whole time you're like, what if she does like, what if she does kind of like this human guy? And he's like, and then they get to boning, which by the way, God bless Hector. I mean, he did it. I'm not going to say much because his content is supposed to be for most audiences, but he gets it, right? It doesn't end up great, but when she makes him start saying this stuff, I was like, come on, dude. You got to know, right? At this point, you got to know what's about to go on, but whatever. I am excited to see what happens to him next season. The most, I think, I'm one of the most excited, him and Alucard, which we're about to get to. Yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. That was just entertaining to me. I'm a sucker for lovey stuff, so I was like, oh man, are they really gonna fall in love and go away? No, of course not. That'd be stupid and wouldn't make any sense for the plot. But it was fun to wonder. And let's see. Oh, Alucard. Okay, this one is an interest. This one was something else, because these two Japanese characters, they're literally Japanese. They say they're from Japan. They show up. They're like, hey, we want to learn how to beat vampires so we can free our people. And Alucard's like, haha, sure, over time. And they get impatient, man, I want to learn. And she's like, oh, he's probably just lonely. Blah. There's a girl and a guy, by the way. And they're very, very brief. Every couple, once an episode, we'll cut to them for a couple minutes just to see what they're doing. They're mostly just goofing around. They're literally just laughing, ha ha ha. Because Alucard was super lonely at the beginning of the season, made a Trevor and Cypher doll. It was super funny, by the way. Really, really hilarious stuff. But then the scene happens, and if you've watched the show, you know what I'm talking about. And I just felt like that was a little predictable. I knew that there was something a little off about him since the beginning. And I don't know. I just kind of wanted something else to come of it. But the development for Alucard is going to be really interesting, because he's basically turning into his dad, right? And of course, as soon as Cypher or Trevor pick up on this, they're going to not have him do that. I don't think he's going to go full Dracula, because Dracula broke all at once. So I think what's going to happen is Alucard's going to have, maybe next season, he's going to get more and more Dracula. It's going to be building Dracula. And then it's going to something's going to happen, and he's going to be reminded of Dracula, and he's going to be like, oh my God, I become my father. And then he's going to snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. You know what I'm saying? That's my prediction for that. But I am interested, definitely, because Alucard's one of my favorite characters, because he's super cool. And I am interested to see where he goes with that. Otherwise, is it Cirilla? I don't remember. Probably not. I don't know. Well, I just completely blanked. Yeah, Trevor, Cypher. Oh, by the way, I revealed that they were dating. They never call each other anything super romantic, but they definitely make woohoo. I guess is the most restricted way I could say that. I don't know how I feel about. I mean, it is nice to see a show have two characters be in a relationship. Because so many shows just oh, are they going to do it? We know they like each other, but for the mission, they can't blah, 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 blah. So it's kind of nice to just to change of pace, just to see two characters openly show affection and not be ooh, you know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't think there's too much. I thought it was awesome, so cool. I'm really excited for next season. As far as what I think is going to happen, I just feel if Isaac fought those vampires now, his goal is, I don't think he could do it, right? Because Isaac's a beast, right? Just an absolute Chad. But those are 3, 4 very powerful vampires. I mean, we saw Lenore, and we can assume she's probably maybe the weakest of the 4, combat-wise at least. And she just humiliated Hector by turning into bats, which I don't know how a normal person is supposed to cope with that. So I don't know what Isaac's grand plan there is. So maybe that might be another season of knocking down those vampires a peg. I don't know. We'll have to see. Don't get me wrong. Isaac's capable of some crazy stuff. We've seen it this season. But as far as Can he do it right now? I don't think so. Also, Hector, since he's technically a slave now, admittedly, I don't think it definitely isn't as bad as it could be, right? Like, he gets a house, he gets to move around, he gets to have a mistress that is an attractive vampire. So, like, could be worse. Definitely sucks because, like, you know, his will is not his own, and that's never a good thing. But, oh, you know what I just realized? I think... I don't know. I have two minds, because I think what might happen is Isaac might get to Hector, right? He's finally at the moment where he's ready to kill him, and then he maybe sees that Hector is a slave, and that reminds Isaac of his childhood, or maybe like, he's not his childhood, but like his earlier years, and that makes him not kill Hector, and he's like, "You're pathetic, just go." I actually think that might happen. I think that's pretty likely. I hope not. I like Hector. I know he's a huge moron. Hector's dumb. But I do enjoy him. I think he's like a child, right? He's like, I guess in the context of the show, that's kind of weird. But as far as like, he's just a guy trying to live his life. And he's naive, very naive. I just don't want him to like get owned, you know? I mean, he is. Almost the entire show is him getting owned, essentially. But, you know, it do. I don't really know where Trevor and Cypher's story is going to go, because they just kind of rove around hunting creatures of the night. I don't know where that's going to go. I guess I don't want it to be like they just go around to each village that has their own problems, because that's kind of, I don't know. I just don't care. I assume their goal is probably going to be to stop whatever force comes first, whether it be vampires or Isaac. Probably the vampires, I'm going to guess, but otherwise I have no idea what their story is going to take them. And yeah, as far as characters meeting up, I don't think Alucard's going to meet up with anyone anytime soon. I think he's going to go through his own personal battle. Obviously, this is based on the Castlevania games, so Dracula's probably going to come back at some point. We've got a tiny, tiny teaser of it this season, where we saw him in hell with his wife. I still don't know why Dracula would be a villain if he came back at this point, since his whole thing right before he died was he was like, "Oh my god, I've become a monster." So I don't know how that would work, but, you know, whatever. Trevor and Cypher might meet up with whether it be Isaac or the vampires. One of the two, probably. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone, right? Like, there's no major character that I'm just completely forgetting. No? Don't think so. Okay. Well, this video is almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it. TLDR... I loved it. I loved it so much. One of my favorite things that I've seen in the past while, right? Like, dude, this, 2020 was off to a great start. Anyway, I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope that nothing is affecting you too much. And if you are, you're my thoughts, seriously. I really feel, I read stuff every day, and it really makes me feel for the people that are in a tough situation right now. It'll get better. It might get worse before it does, but it always gets better. You know, the world never stops turning. So, well, you know, unless like 1,000 years a meter hits it, you know, stuff. Anyway, it'll get better. Just hold on. Just try and escape. Find some really good shows like this one. If you've watched it, if you haven't watched it, you should. If you're an anime fan and you're listening to all this, well, one, I'm sorry that you made it this far and decided to spoil it for you, but you should watch it anyway, because me giving my weird opinions about stuff doesn't do it justice. It's really, really good. And yeah, as far as the channel goes, Bleach Rewatch Episode 1 should be hitting this Friday. I'm shooting for. I really am. I know I said I was going to do this on Wednesday, and it's technically Thursday, but I got it out as soon as I could. Sometimes school, I got to do things because I'm lazy. But Bleach, seriously, I want to hit that Friday. I'm really serious about that. I'm going to try and be really serious about that. Check out my other channel. It's in the description for Legends and Grand Cross stuff. And subscribe if you want to see more animated reviews, anime, stuff like that. Sorry there's no webcam. Still, someone needs it more than I do is using it, which is totally fine by me. Not a huge deal. Although I did buy a stinking green screen that hopefully I use for something at some point. Anyway, I don't want this video to hit 20 minutes, so thank you all so much for watching. I will catch all of you in the next one. Stay safe. I'll see all of you guys next time. Peace.